to know, my name is Ariel Szuch, and I'm an English major with an editing minor, and I don't have a job after I graduate in April. You may all cast in horror now. Thank you. However, just because I don't know where I'm going doesn't mean that I don't have direction. Or, as our friend Tolkien would say, not all who wander are lost. So, because I have capacity for vision, I have faith in my future, and let me tell you why. So flashback to 2009 when I entered BYU as an English major, and whereupon was told, you can't just be an English major. You have to do something that will actually get you a job after you graduate. So me being me, I panicked and started looking around for other majors with more marketable skills. However, I was sitting in one of my first English classes with Professor Richard, and he gave us this rousing speech about how English majors will rule the world because we deal in ideas. And that really struck me, and I thought, you know what? I am going to stick with this. I'm going to have a little bit of faith that the English major will put me in a good place for my future. So, flash forward 2 semesters to a class called Digital Civilization, team taught by professors in the English and computer science departments. And in this class, we started making connections between historical ideas and the technological age, and I started to think in ways that I had never before, making connections between people and ideas, professionals, amateurs, technology and history. And one day the light bulb went on, and I realized that because of the digital tools and the opportunities afforded to us, I am part of a generation that can be a force for good, perhaps more than any before. And I just started to develop what I call capacity for vision. And capacity for vision is being able to take a piece of the puzzle and see how it fits into the whole that is already there, and how it can change the future of the picture that is yet to be made. So I started looking around with capacity for vision for others who shared it. And through continued contact with Dr. Burton and the Digital Civilization professor, I became a TA for the next class. I started to incorporate the principles I had learned into other classes, and I wrote a paper on academic blogging for my writing fellows class. And my supervisor told me, you know what, maybe you should look into instructional psychology and technology. I had no idea what that was. But apparently there was a research position in the department, so I went online and I looked up Dr. Rick West. I found a paper that he'd written about communities of innovation that seemed to have this capacity for vision that I was looking for. So I contacted him, and because I had read his paper, we could speak the same language, and he gave me the job. But life doesn't turn out the way we expect, and I ended up going on a mission and not taking the job. And on that mission, I solidified in my principles that my desire to be a force for good in the world really increased. So when I got back, I contacted Dr. West again, and he gave me the opportunity to work on this website called innovation.byu.edu, which I'm currently the project manager for. And through this website, I've come in contact with people in fields that I didn't know existed, and I realized that principles plus skills and interests equal opportunities. So if you're committed to a core set of principles, and you combine those with your skills that you've developed, and your interests, these create opportunities that you have never thought of. And the future becomes an adventure of discovery rather than a fathomless void that it is horrifying to look into. And even now, I have moments of doubt, but I have faith that as I move forward, the way will be opened for me. Henry David Thoreau once said that if you have built your castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they belong. Now put your foundations under them. And I've really appreciated this opportunity to tell my story, because I've realized that even though I don't know how those castles in the air will solidify, even now, kind of, have a few freak out moments here and there, but because I have this capacity for vision, I'm looking forward to a life of purpose and direction. Thank you.